What better thing to do on an overcast day with barely any sun, there was some this morning, is then to talk about 3 new solar items for your camping setup. A big thanks to Callsun and Biolite for sending out these items for a review. If you want to know how we handle free products, you can go check out this link on our website. You have found Explore, Trek, Adventure with Kelly and Greg. We cover everything camping, from backpacking to adventure vans.
We're gonna save the best for first. This happens to be the one I like the most. I'm not sure about Kelly, but if you remember a couple weeks ago, I mentioned do not park on the dark spots because there's just a ton of nails. Well, on our way here this morning, that tire lost 20 pounds of air, and I'm pretty much gonna guarantee that there's at least 1 nail stuck in there. We couldn't find it, but hopefully we'll make it out of here. This is the Callsun 28-watt little solar panel. And if you unfold it, it actually has 4 panels in there, but it has like a secret weapon that makes this cool because, okay, yeah, it's a solar panel, but if we look in here, this is what makes this whole thing worth it. It's got a 10,000 milliamp battery pack built into the panel itself. To put it into perspective, this is the 10,000 milliamp battery that we take when we backpack. This one's super light, carbon fiber. Well, this panel here has a 10,000 milliamp battery as well. We're not actually sure where they put it because it's not really that big. I think maybe there's something right here, so maybe it's a flat battery right there. It just turns it into from a camping item into an everyday item. I think, honestly, this should be in everybody's car. That gets rid of that scenario where you can't call for help because your battery's dead. This panel came with 1 set of carabiners, and then it has these bright green loops, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. You could hang this over your backpack if you're on a backpacking trip. Let's talk about that really fast. I think this is just a smidge over 2 pounds. It's a little heavy for a long trip, but if you were going out for a shorter trip, or if you knew you were gonna have a lot of big power needs, I think this could be actually a good option. This is actually small enough where you can just chuck it onto the dash of your car while you're parked. This is built well enough that I just chuck it onto the ground. These carabiners are actually big enough where it makes it fairly easy to hook wherever you need to put it. I'm glad spring's finally here, but now we're stuck with things like this. There are 4 ports on here. This is your regular 2 USB-A's. This one's slightly faster. This one is an 18-watt USB-C, and then the ever so terrible micro USB. These can both be used to actually charge this if you needed to charge it via a wall plug. There's also a little charge indicator here on how much battery you have, and then if you're getting sun. I do like that it has a big enough pouch here that you can have some cables, and if you are gonna do something like this, I suggest you get extra cables and always leave them in here.
The sun has finally come back out. Next up is the Biolite String LED lights. We've actually purchased a few of their things before. We've had our headlamps 5-6 years, maybe. They work great, no problems whatsoever. Biolite does do some cool things behind the scenes that you should know about. For every product sold, a person living in energy poverty gains access to safe lighting and charging through Biolite. To date, they've impacted over 14 million people. When you're buying Biolite products, you're also helping people in need. Going over the features of the string light, it does have a solar panel on top. Yes, it is small, but hey, it's better than nothing. It has a 4,000 milliamp battery inside of it. Give you a perspective, our backpacking one is 10,000. So it's about less than half the size. Even though it is on the smaller side, you still get 40 hours on the low setting and 8 hours on the high setting. It has 2 ports on the side. You can charge things using the USB-C or USB-A. To charge this thing though, you need to use the USB-C. It does have this rubber handle. It can be detached and come across there. On top you have your power and your charge status light buttons. We've had string lights in the past and they always end up in a big rat's nest. That shouldn't happen here since it's wrapping around itself, all inside this one unit. The end actually has a hook so you could wrap it around a tree and then hook it in like so. This is actually 44 feet long and there are 20 of these LED bulbs along the length of it. To show you how long this is, we're going to attach one side to the tree and the other side to the van. Hopefully it reaches. Partway through, it also has an additional hooks. Now that we're at the end, you can see that this is just a USB-C plug. So you actually could plug this into any battery. So when you're going to store it, you want to put it into this hole, so that way it tucks it right in. But if you're going to be powering it with this station, there's a little plug cover, and it goes right in here. And you plug it in right there to charge it, or to power it on. And you just push power, and we have lights. It's got 3 settings: low, medium, high, and then off. Now we just have to wait for it to get dark.
Next up, we have a flexible 100-watt solar panel by Callsun. This panel is semi-rigid. It will hold somewhat of a shape, but the cool part is it is only 5.5 pounds, so it's super light for 100 watts. In the corners, they have these little holes with little rivet things in them, and they're on all 4 corners, so you could actually hang this solar panel if you wanted to. You could also hang it this way, and there's a little one in the middle as well. You have your standard MC4 connectors, although your leads are fairly short. I think this application probably is good to be hard mounted somewhere, but you can actually have this thing portable. You can see we've scratched it quite a bit already, just been throwing it on the ground. But one thing that we've been doing is as the sun gets down low in the sky, we've just been propping it up, and it's rigid enough to where you actually can do that. Where this panel is really going to shine is where you attach it to, let's say, a rooftop tent, and there's a slight curve to it, or an RV, maybe the front or back of your RV, where there's just a slight curve to it, and this panel can totally be fastened down like that. The back of this panel is totally flat, so you could install this with a bunch of VHB tape. But let me go throw it up on the roof and you can see how it compares to like a 100-watt panel we have on the roof. For comparison, the top of the Revel has these 2 panels. I believe this one's 100 watts. So we can throw this guy on here for comparison. And these are Zamp panels on the bottom there. And it's a little bit longer than the Zamp panel and just a smidge narrower. To give you a little usage test, I'm going to plug it into our Blue Eddy. This is the AC50B. We're down to 69. Ooh. We've had really good luck with this panel so far. It's a 100-watt panel. In the Pacific Northwest, we never get what we're supposed to be rated. And last weekend we were out with it and I actually saw 92, which is pretty crazy for this area. So we'll just throw it over here. The sun is already a little bit low in the sky, but what we're gonna do is we'll hook this one up, see what it does. We'll lay out that 200-watt panel just for comparison. It's not really comparable, but it'll at least give you an idea. I'm just gonna lay this one down pretty much the same as the other, and we'll see how it compares. Okay, 23, 24. So we should get 50-ish. That 200-watt panel, it's dropping down to 28. We saw it up to 32. So 200-watt, 32, and 100-watt was giving us 24. So this thing is really efficient for what it is.
I've done the hard part of making the video. Now it's your turn. Leave me a comment. I really like reading them. Go watch this video next. You can find us at exploretrekadventure.com, and we'll see you next time.